allow yourself to feel like this is easy. Allow yourself to feel that belief and that confidence in yourself, and feel what it's going to feel like when somebody reaches out to you and says, it's like you're speaking to me. I would love to work with you. Like, how would that actually feel? You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to an episode of the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. And tomorrow, Thursday, May 23rd, I am on my way to my bachelorette in Miami with my girlies and one of my biz besties, Mackenzie. So we actually were going to go somewhere like Montreal for my bachelorette, because I was like, we don't have to go out of the country. It's fine. We can just go somewhere, rent an Airbnb, whatever. But honestly, it probably would have cost the same to just go to fucking Montreal. I live in Southern Ontario, so we would have had to drive like 6 or 7 hours or take the train. And we're going to still have to rent an Airbnb and do activities and stuff like that. And we're in Ontario, guys. It's cold. It's not even summer yet. Your girl loves the sun, loves the beach, loves a pool. And my friends were like, let's just fucking go to Miami, like we said we were going to do for years. So we decided to book this amazing Airbnb. It is so beautiful. I will put that on my Instagram story when we get there. And you guys need to see this pool and the cabana. It is so beautiful. We're going to have drinks. We're going to party. We're just going to have the best time ever. I'm so grateful that I have my girlfriends to celebrate with me, and my sister, who is my maid of honor. It's just going to be such an amazing experience. And it's my fucking bachelorette. Like, it's crazy. I get married so soon in August, and that's where I'm going to be this weekend, you guys. I'm sure I won't be on Instagram that much, but come over and say hi and celebrate and ask me or tell me what kind of shot I need to take, okay, to celebrate. So let's dive into the episode today. It's a really good one for you about standing in your power when you're selling your offer, what that feels like and what it looks like. And to me, selling my offer feels like I have something that is so valuable and is something that people really, really want. And this is an offer that people have a deep desire for, and it's solving a problem for them that nobody else can solve for them. Right? Like, that feeling is power. It is power in the way that I know that anybody else could sell an offer similar to mine, but they're not going to get the exact same results unless they come and work with me. It also feels extremely expansive, so it doesn't feel restrictive. It doesn't feel like I have a limited amount of time to talk about my offer. It feels like everybody is just hanging on to every word that I have to say about it, and it's just a matter of time before I say something about it or something about how I can help them that's going to push them over the edge to reach out to me about the offer. Now, here's the thing. You probably aren't standing in your power because you don't believe this. You probably don't feel that power inside of you, or that confidence inside of you, or that belief inside of you, because you aren't sure if people need what you offer. You're not 100% confident in the fact that you're solving somebody's problem. So first and foremost, this can be an issue with your messaging. Before we get into the confidence piece of it, it could be an issue with the way that you're communicating the value of your offer. And something that I do with all of my clients is help them with like the statements that they can repeatedly ground into, and the statements that are around the transformation of their offer and the result that they can help somebody with. And there's a ton of things that come from this, because when you really feel grounded in the transformation and in the result that you can help your client achieve, everything expands from there. So you can create a framework, you can reverse engineer from that transformation and from the result, and create resources, create a step-by-step process to help your client actually achieve that result. Like, there's tons of things and tons of confidence created when you have those statements about your offer that you can repeat and really ground into as you sell. So unclear messaging is evidence that you don't believe in the results that you can help your clients achieve. And therefore, when you go to show up and sell your offer or to give value, whatever, it kind of feels like you're throwing shit at the wall because you feel like your messaging is unclear, so you don't feel confident in it. But the reason why your messaging is unclear is because you don't feel confident in the results or the transformation that you can help your clients with. So of course, when you come into any of my programs, whether you're in the From Imposter to Empowered program trying to get to 5K months, or if you're in the Fraud Squad Mastermind and you're trying to get to 10K plus months, we absolutely clean up your messaging so you can feel really fucking confident in the words that you're saying. When you just feel like you can confidently say the words that you're saying, that is going to transmute into really powerful, confident energy, and that can be felt. It can be felt from your audience when you have power and conviction in the words that you're saying, and you say it so easily because you're so confident in what you're saying and you're not overthinking it or overanalyzing it or thinking that it's wrong or not enough. It's just going to feel really simple. It's going to feel like you're just doing your fucking job by literally showing up and sharing about your offer, and that someone is going to grab onto it. So how it feels when you're staying in your power is that feeling of expansion, the feeling of this is fun, this is easy, this is light, somebody is going to reach out to me. And I also think that comes from not giving a sweet fuck about what anybody else on the other side of the screen thinks about you or your offer. And I genuinely mean that because your brain is going to fill in the gaps when it doesn't have the information about any situation whatsoever. If you're somebody who struggles with anxiety, you probably see this come out in more ways than one when it comes to your business. Let's say you're having a conversation with somebody at work and you guys are talking, you're chatting, and then all of a sudden, like, they get really cold and really distant. They stop talking to you and they walk out of the room. Like, maybe they saw a text or something on their phone and then they excuse themselves. So naturally, what happens here? Your brain would try to fill in the story as to what just happened, even if it's not true, which once you start realizing this, you will see it happen and you will see other people do the exact same thing. Because whenever we don't have information about a situation, we will begin to create a story around it. And there are times where we will genuinely believe the things that we think, even if they are nowhere near true. And if we don't have the accurate information, and it's a situation where, like, we want to know the information, we need to know the information, you will fill in the gaps. And this is shitty fucking news for somebody who struggles with imposter syndrome and struggles with anxiety and is going to show up online and get virtually no external validation, right? Like, we get none. As coaches, as service providers who are selling our services online, we get no external validation, very rarely. But external validation in the online space does not actually mean anything about conversions. If somebody is reaching out to you, asking to work with you, they actually can come out of fucking nowhere. It is not required of them to like your posts or comment on your posts or engage with you or even fucking follow you, right? Like, there have been so many times where I've gotten a DM and someone's reached out to me and they haven't even followed me before because they feel like such a fraud that they're like, I'm not gonna follow Jill because I feel like a fraud and I don't want anybody to know. So that's the thing, right? You can be showing up online and creating all this content, selling your offer, but you're not receiving any external validation whatsoever. And your brain is going to fill in the gaps as to what people are thinking, right? So you're going to see the people who are consuming your Instagram stories, but you literally don't know what any of their thoughts are. You have no idea what they're thinking about you. You have no idea what they're thinking about your offer. And this is your opportunity to fill in the gaps with something empowering, with something that is going to encourage you to just sell more and more and more. But the problem is when you struggle with imposter syndrome and with these feelings of self-doubt, you're going to tell yourself that people don't actually like what you're saying or they don't want your offer, right? And if you aren't having people reach out to work with you all day, every day, it's very easy to give in to those thoughts. But I just want you to see this for what it is. It's your brain filling the gaps because that's what your brain was meant to do. You guys hear me say this all the time, but your brain is just trying to keep you safe. That's all it's fucking doing, is trying to keep you safe and creating stories that are going to help support how you're thinking and how you're feeling. And how I learned to stand in my power is to generally not give a flying fuck what anybody else thought about my offers and about how I was showing up online, and to continue doing what I was here to do regardless of what somebody was saying. Or if somebody liked this kind of content, right? Like, we can't rely on other people to constantly tell us what's going to work for us in our business. It has to come from a place of, I want to show up in this way. So whether that's TikTok or Reels for you, or I have clients who thrive when it comes to doing reels, or clients I have that would rather dump all their thoughts into a broadcast channel or on threads. Like for me, I love being able to rant and speak for as long as possible. So I actually have a really active broadcast channel, or I will release an episode on my podcast. That's why I have the podcast, right? So I can talk in this long form content way. And the way you show up and sell and give value to your audience, it has to come from you. It can't come from somebody saying, you have to do reels. You have to create content in this way, because when you try to do it because everybody's telling you to get on TikTok, when you try to just create reels, when you try to create a fucking broadcast channel, right? Like if it's not aligned to you and how you want to give value and how you want to sell, then it's not going to fucking work for you, right? And there was actually somebody in my broadcast channel who is asking about starting a broadcast channel in the broadcast channel that I had. And a question she asked right after she started hers was like, how do I get people to engage with these question boxes? And I answered and I was like, continue to put them up. Continue to show up and give value regardless if people are listening or if they even engage with the question boxes. Because this is where I think there is a clear divide between the people who are here to be a leader, who are here to actually make an impact and do great work and have things to say, right? And then there's a group of people who are like, unless I see the external validation, unless I see that I'm doing a good job and someone tells me that I am, I'm not doing this. And I know the people that are following me, who are listening to this podcast, you are not of the latter group. You are somebody who has a voice, who wants to share her message, who wants to stand in her power, and you just have a little bit of imposter syndrome. You just have a little bit of self-doubt, and that is totally and completely fine. But what I said to this person was like, you have to be able to show up and say the things and be fucking repetitive and consistent, regardless if people are responding to you, because you're the leader. Leaders do not look at the people who are following behind them, right? Like they are blazing the path. You are trailblazing the path as well. And that means that you have to decide that the things that you're saying are worthy, that the messages that you have to share are important, and that somebody is listening, and that people actually do care about what you have to say, regardless of the external validation that you're receiving or not receiving. And when I'm selling my offer, it's because I believe in that offer, and it's because I believe in the fact that when somebody gets into my offer, it's just going to be 10 times better than any of the free content that somebody can consume from me. Like you can consume my podcast, my posts, my broadcast channel, like whatever it fucking is, and never become a client. And I love you. I'm so happy that you're here. But I also know that when you come into my paid containers, you're going to be fucking mind blown, and they're going to get the results that they want, the transformation that they want. And I feel really confident in that. So as you have probably gathered, it is not about if other people think that your offer is good. It's not about how somebody else is perceiving your offer. It's the way that you see yourself as you sell your offer. And when you struggle with imposter syndrome, you will have a skewed view of yourself. You'll have a skewed perception of how good something is. And this is why you need to have confidence in yourself. But at the same time, when you have imposter syndrome, you also need to not believe that inner imposter voice, because it will tamper down, it will water down everything that you do, including selling, because there will be that inner imposter telling you nobody needs this. And then you will take something like your lack of external validation and make it mean that story about you not being good enough is right. I want to drive this home even further by reading what one of my clients in the From Imposter to Empowered program wrote in her intake form about why she joined. So she said, so much of what you talk about in your book, on Instagram, and in your podcast resonates so much. Every time I heard you explain how you struggled with imposter syndrome, I was like, yep, I'm going to work with her someday. Actually, the broadcast channel on Instagram was the biggest thing for me. Being able to hear about a variety of topics there and ask questions too. All of the voice notes you shared in there really solidified how I felt about your coaching. And from there, once the From Imposter to Empowered program popped up, I was like, I'm in, no question. So this is from my intake form for the From Imposter to Empowered program, because I always like to ask the question of what has led you to decide to work with me, because I know that I'm just going to continue doing these things. So you can see here how it was like my book, my podcast, my broadcast channel. And this was all me giving fucking value. And the thing is with the broadcast channel, people very rarely interact because it's just you, right? Like it's just you, unless you do a question box or some kind of poll. People can't interact with you at all. So I think this is a really great example of not needing anybody else to give you your power and realizing that it comes from you. It comes from you believing that you have something to offer. It comes from you believing that you are in somebody's fucking vision board, even if that's not true right now. Even if it's not true right now, you can totally believe it and then it will come to fruition, right? Like, this is also why in the From Imposter to Empowered program, I included a whole module on manifestation and money and energetics, because I really believe that the universe or God or angels, whatever you believe in, are supporting us in this journey to achieving the goals that we have for ourselves. And how all of these things, believing in the universe, tapping into your power, tapping into your confidence and into your belief, and then having all of that fuel your strategy, because realistically, the strategy is the easiest fucking part. All you need to do is clean up some of your messaging, and you need to create content, and you need to show up. But the rest comes from your confidence. The rest comes from the belief that you have in yourself, and from the belief that you can achieve anything that you genuinely try to achieve and that you believe is possible for you. And I truly mean for this to be so empowering when I say that nobody gives a fuck when you show up online. I know you're afraid of the judgment. I know you're afraid that someone is going to be like, what the fuck is she doing online? I know that you're afraid to go bigger. And the thing is, no one cares. And you are just doing yourself a massive disservice if you do not sell your fucking offer today. If you just don't say fuck it and sell as powerfully as possible, allow yourself to feel that light feeling, that powerful feeling. Allow yourself to feel like this is easy. Allow yourself to feel that belief and that confidence in yourself, and feel what it's going to feel like when somebody reaches out to you and says, it's like you're speaking to me. I would love to work with you. Like, how would that actually feel? And if this brings up thoughts, if this brings up anxiety or imposter syndrome, we can easily overcome those things. You can overcome those things because you have something to say. You have a message to share. And when you come from that belief, like, people need a service like this, or people need the offer that I'm selling, or people need this healing work, right? Like, I always think about the fact, like, I have a job to do, and that job is for me to help you guys believe in yourself so fiercely, and to be consistent, and to show up confidently so you can make the money that you want to make, so you can work with clients and love what you fucking do, and not have to be chained to a desk, and not have to live in this world where you have to be on 24/7, and instead you can do the things that you want to fucking do in your life. And I get to do that because of a business, and because of the confidence that I have in myself, and the way that I believe in myself, and because I'm so confident in my offers. I truly believe that I'm helping somebody live their best fucking life and to feel really good about themselves. And, like, for a second, forget about the money, forget about the big business too. I also think it's just like a really important part of my job to help women feel confident in themselves, and women believe that they have value to share and work that's purposeful, and that they can do it, and they can write the book, they can show up confidently, they can do a speaking engagement to share their fucking wisdom. And when I come from that place, how can I not be confident? When I come from that place, how can I not be so fucking powerful? So the last thing I'll say is, I had a client in the From Imposter to Empowered program say that it was really hard for her to tap into her why when she was trying to sell. And I was like, don't tap into your why then. It's not about you. It's about what you can do for somebody else. Like, purely, sales is about service, and sales is about exchanging value, where you are exchanging the value that you have to offer with the money that somebody else has. It's not about you and your worthiness whatsoever. It doesn't have to be about, I'm doing this for my kids, or I'm doing this because I want to be successful and grow an empire, blah, blah, blah. That's actually a surefire way to sit in shame and to shame yourself about wanting the money, or just wanting to make the money for yourself. But at the end of the day, you offer a service, and it doesn't get as simple as that. You offer a service so you can help somebody get the result that they want, whether that's more confidence, more money, a happier relationship, or a healthier relationship to themselves, to their health, to their body, whatever it is. You can be of service to somebody, and it doesn't have to be about you whatsoever. And when you can make your potential client the center of everything, and just work on giving value when you show up, and work on being a helpful human, regardless of the external validation that you're getting or not getting, you will make the money that you want to make as a fucking byproduct. And then you actually will have the external validation, but it won't matter, because regardless, you're a powerful ass bitch. Either way, you're a powerful ass bitch. Okay? My loves, you've heard me say over and over again this episode about the From Imposter to Empowered program, which is my signature program for coaches and service providers currently making between 0K to 3K a month, and you want to get to that 5K per month bare minimum income. You want 5K months in your business. You want to overcome imposter syndrome, stop these feelings of self-doubt. You really want to overcome those blocks and limitations that you know are blocking you from sharing your message and being a really powerful coach or service provider in the online space. This is the program for you. Okay, it's only $19.97 for 6 months or $333 per month for 6 months. And this is the way to work with me if you want to start bringing in 5K months through your business. And then when you're ready to make 10K plus months, you'll come into the Fraud Squad Mastermind. So to join the From Imposter to Empowered program, you can go to the link in my show notes and sign up directly from there. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me at Your Coach Jill. I love you guys. I hope you loved this little rant that I concocted for you, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to come over and say hi to me on Instagram. I will be living it up in Miami for my bachelorette, and I'll see you later. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at Your Coach Jill. See you next time.